Cosmos. Boy, is it lovely to see y'all. I know it's a little bit if I'm talking a little bit low. I mean, it's kind of late where I'm at. It's not like I'm on screen, if not yet as much. So, yeah. Just wondering if if I sound a little bit too, but I'll make sure, of course, you get all my words into the mic. But just let you know. Let you know the circumstances. But, alright. So I wanted to come on. I understand. I wanted to come on here and say that, of course, as time goes on, and I've been on this earth for 27 years at this point. I mean, if you go back to my, I've been doing this I've been doing, of course, videos on YouTube. Just, whichever you want to call it. I've been doing this, as we're talking about right now. I've been doing this for about a year. And, you can even go back into, see, of course, I used to sound terrible at first. You can tell I wasn't as passionate and as enthusiastic, much more, a bit as emotion. You can tell. Just look at Roman Reigns right now. You go back and look at him. You can see that he has grown since then. Same as the Usos. Well, you can use that same logic in everybody. Everybody has a start, and they're gonna lead somewhere. So it's not like, everybody has a journey that they have to. Everybody has to take a step by step. It's not overnight. It's not an overnight sensation. Well, if you're LA Knight, but yeah. Like I said, I've been on this earth for 27 years, and I've been, the time that I've been on YouTube for a year that I've been doing this. And of course, by now too, of course, entertainment-wise, when we talk about entertainment and the growth in technology, I think, and if you saw my community posts and on Twitter too, if you follow me on Twitter, of course, all that's all. Well, if you want to, I'll get better at that. But yeah, if you see the community post that's posted right now, of course, that it's on. You can go to the community. I've talked to, already talked about this before. When it comes to technology, we understand that technology is continuously growing and growing. Same as entertainment, compared to the times before, whichever generation period that you grew up in, whether it was the 80s, whether it was the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and so on. As in turn, technology is as big. It's starting to grow as it did, back in the early 1900s. If you look on from point onward to the growth from then to now, of course, you can see that it changed significantly. And when you look at, WB, just them, specifically, and of course, just like myself, just like myself, we all get mixed up. And when it comes to, I want to say about articles, I don't think everybody really understands, when it comes, especially really doing research, you have to understand too. And by me, when I say technology, cable TV, of course, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon right now. But cable TV isn't the norm. I would say cable TV, as far as you want to say, cable TV, as far as that, it's not the only accessory or avenue anymore that human beings can access now. I mean, you have platforms such as a YouTube or a Twitch that people can go into, and if they decide that they want to watch. Cable. Like I said, cable TV isn't the norm anymore. People have other avenues that they can watch, and when you look at YouTube, you can just, whether you want to look at the ratings that has over 34, million, you can go to the app, whatever app you can go see, and YouTube has, of course, you can tell, but just by that, or such. Of course, if you go to such specific videos, you can see that billions of people in the world have used the platform. So, or Twitch too. Millions of people have used. If you go to specific videos, live streams, after they end, millions of people are on there. You know, just like I say on YouTube, billions of people use YouTube every single day. Same as Instagram, TikTok, all those other social media, you know, video media platforms. Like I said, I don't think people really take into account what you have to look at. So the ratings, you know, you have to, in actuality, and like I said, like, let me go to my notes, bro. So I looked at, like, of course, you get the usual ratings. Like, you might say, you might hear and look at these articles, and they might and they might say, of course, I mean, just say for Raw instance, like, you know, Raw just did over. They say Raw just did over 1.8 in the ratings, and that's just looking at, I don't know, whichever they looked at, but yeah, they regard that as you know, cables. Yeah, they regard that looking at the ratings on cable television. But I personally specifically went to WWE's YouTube channel, of course, this past Monday, from clips that they usually upload, and I went, you know, to the specific section that they upload on Raw clips. And yeah, I put it all down in my, and this is, you know, I put it all down in my notes right here. And I put Judgment Day the segments and the matches that they were in, you know, of course, because that's still Judgment Day. I put Sami Zayn, because he's still on the show. I put Sami Zayn's segment and matches, you know, Chelsea Green, Alpha Academy, Imperium. Like, of course, you get that. But yeah, I put it all down, and specifically, I got, just by them, of course, being WWE still the brand, but just by them, you know, I put them specifically, you know, and this is still counting. You know, I put them specifically when it comes to the viewers that were watching them, that they watched, and I, you know, of course, counting this up, and what I got to in total, you know, to the total viewership. Just, you know, and this is still counting. Like I said, this is still counting. You know, of course, 3. Like, I added it all up. Well, I can say Judgment Day. Judgment Day, their segments and their matches, specifically them. Judgment Day, it's 1.6 million. 1.6 million. That's still counting. Sami Zayn and his segments and matches. You know, 338K. You know, that's 338,000 viewers. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, that segment right there, when they did the whole, like, yeah, looking like, you know, Piper Niven is her new tag team, that did 203,000 K viewers and counting. Alpha Academy and Imperium, they did them Pacific, yeah, Alpha Academy, well, yeah, but that's them together. Alpha Academy and Imperium, 566 viewers, yeah, 566,000 viewers and counting. Like, y'all see where I'm going with this. I added that all up, and it adds up to 3.9 million, and that's still counting, and that's just on their channel. 3.9 million. So, of course, people wonder why that WWE is still making as profit as they are. Listen, I get it, and I like I said before, I get it. You know, it does. Like, nostalgia does play a factor, or, you know, we tend to put our likes and dislikes on others and on other media. To, you know, and that's a big problem. That's why, you know, of course, like I said, just like I said, like earlier today, I like all coming up with this. That's why I, you know, taking all this into consideration, and I don't, yeah, going forward, I'm not going to be doing that anymore, because I can't force my likes and dislikes onto y'all, because that doesn't make sense. We're not the same person. Like I said, you might. Yeah, let's just say that of course, y'all like Judgment Day, and say that I don't like it. You know, I can't say, oh, why do you like Judgment Day? What the fuck? I can't do that. That's yeah, that's just that makes no sense. And I'm just trying, and yeah, I think people don't get that, and they confuse, and of course, and they try to force. It's just and that's the part, and that's just in general. That's just in general. Let me say, like, for instance, I don't know if y'all saw this, but it's my Pacific TV show that I liked growing up. I watched it a lot growing up. And let me see. Oh damn it! Yeah, like it was called 2.5 Men, and like this particular show, it came out in 2003. It's called 2.5 Men. You want to watch it too? It's a really good show too. Very funny, but yeah, it's this specific show. It came out in 2003. 2.5 Men, and this is a clip too that I wanted to I added to, I want to get back to, and this is like a clip that was uploaded from not 12 years ago, and this is when the show came out. Yeah, the show came out in 2003, and this clip was uploaded November 24th back in 2010, and it has 9 million views. 9 million views. Now I look at another clip. Peacock did this last year. Yeah, this is last year of July 20. 2.5 Men. Like I said, this show came out in 2003. YouTube wasn't like YouTube was like still a few years barely was non-existent, and this came out in 2003. And it still did 3 million views. I said, imagine if they did this whole show on YouTube and it was as popular. Just imagine what YouTube was around when this show came out. Imagine how many numbers it would do. Like, let me see another thing. I mean, like I said, let me just look on YouTube because I want to look at SpongeBob. Let me see. Yeah, like also have to take y'all have to take in consideration that like I said, technology and in this point, entertainment, viewing wise is not. It's way different than it is. So I guess people don't really take into account that like I said, I continue to say this. Cable is not the sole source anymore. Like I said, you have platforms that are easily accessible by millions and billions of people in the world, and YouTube practically can reach. It's possibly the only platform, if not Twitch, right now, is easily accessible to billions of people in the world. And SpongeBob. Let me see. I'm trying to look at this. Well, let me see. SpongeBob season 1. Type this word. But like I said, just imagine. Like I said, like people don't really take that into consideration as to what, because they like to use their. Like I said, it's fine, but like I said, it's fine because that's the particular update thing that they came out in. But I want to look. Let me see which specific episode. All right, SpongeBob came out in 1999. 1999, SpongeBob, that TV show. Pretty sure most of y'all, if not the world, knows about SpongeBob. That came out in 1999. Here's a clip that I'm on right now. You can watch it too. Like it says, old SpongeBob teaser trailer. Be there and be square. 2.7 million. And this clip was uploaded back in July 13, 2010. Like I said, saying it again, just like 2.5 Men. Like these, you have such as that. You have media that was released like 30, 40 years ago, and it's getting millions upon millions of views. Like I said, just imagine, because YouTube, if it like practically is the most used social media platform, just like Instagram, just like TikTok, just like Twitch. They're all of them. Just like I said, just imagine if they were back, if we didn't have Cartoon Network, if we didn't have like such networks like Cartoon Network, Disney, Sony, such as that, Nickelodeon and stuff like that. Imagine if and that they were easily accessible as it is right now. And like I said, I really had to take that into account, because people, just imagine. So, I said, you can't. I said it's not that it's their fault, but I don't think people really. You have to really go around and really look at. I said I'm looking at things really different, too, going forward, because I don't. Like I said, I want to be, get everything correct, make sure that I'm doing the proper research that I am. And not just that too, but just want to quickly say that I understand that, of course, being that we all have likes and dislikes, and we tend to put, if it's not, and that if it not goes all in hand, like I said, we tend to put, whether it has to do with our generation, entertainment wise, our generation, what are the statistics that we used just growing up. And we like I said, you have to look at the current trends in pop culture right now, and being that everything I just mentioned, you had like I said, you had media consistently that was back then, that were so many years ago, and it's being as popular as it is now. Like I said, because people also have to take you also have to take into consideration that, of course, like I just said, also have to take in mind that, like I said, we're not the same person, and people don't realize that we adapt and we're influenced by. Of course, people don't want to realize that, because I said not that it's their fault, but they're not properly taught that. But we adapt and we're influenced by whatever we take. I said, people, that's the beauty of our imagination, and as we were created. Well, I said it all goes in hand, but y'all pretty much get what I'm trying to say. And I said, just imagine if we had easily accessible networks and apps, such as this generation has it today. And I say it was remarkable too, being that technology in the 80s and 90s was already far beyond at that point, but it still wasn't to the degree that we have it now. Everything I mentioned up to this point. And like I said, people not. So yeah, you can't. So going forward, also, of course, I'm going to be doing that also, but. Like I said, I don't think, of course, these articles, not that it's their fault, but whether they're intentionally or not taking into consideration that you also have to understand that, like I said, we're in a new time period, as and going into the future, technology is changing, everything, just like everything else is changing, and it's not the same how everything was in every other specific time period. And like I said, YouTube, if not, is the biggest entertainment platform in the world right now. It's browsed, if not tens of millions of people in the world right now as I speak. So I have to take that also. I have to take that going into consideration as I do more and more of my research. And so if people was wondering why too, of course, just being in myself, that like I said, not that wrestling. Like I said, of course, because like I said, I also said this before. Also, nostalgia does play into factor. I might not like. There's certain. Oh damn! My apologies. I'm gonna let that go. But there's certain things, there may be things, or not a lot, if not all, that I may not like, just like the current generation likes today. Because yeah, like I said, I grew up. Well, yeah, I mean, I watched a lot of older stuff, but I still grew up in which is the 2000s, and I watched a lot of 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s content. I wasn't even back then, like in the like I said, even in the 2000s, I wasn't the time period that I was growing up in. I wasn't even watching my own the specific media for me, but that's just me personally. But so yeah, like, but it's not to say that I still like the current trend or the current generation of, in this case, wrestlers or whichever as. It's not to say that, but yeah, like I said, like everything up to this point, yeah, which includes to what you can sum it up all into what, yeah, like, I don't people really know the fact that wrestling is as not dead as it is, because of course, like, we don't look, and that's just on Pacific. This is all that I just read to you too. When it comes to WWE specific, that's just on their channel. All that plays a part, but like I said, it's just, I think people don't really. Of course, you have to look into that, and it just, y'all can even do it yourselves, but yeah, you have to be specifically looking into that, and imagine, like I said, because like I said, if you look at this specific, I don't know if y'all saw it or yourselves, but this personal clip too, like specifically the Randy Orton and the Triple H clip. Remember when, like, Randy Orton, they were doing that whole angle with I think it was like the angle back when Evolution, and Randy Orton was he wanted to get back at Triple H for what he did to him in Evolution, that whole thing. But of course, Ruthless Aggression fans will understand. But of course, remember when they did that whole angle back in '09, and that was like the age of Orton, and they fucked that whole thing up. But yeah, like, remember that whole segment that he was still feuding with the big mans, and they were practically Triple H's family because he was married to Stephanie McMahon. And the clip, there's a clip too, clip right now still on there, that Triple H, Randy Orton, remember, like, Randy Orton kisses Stephanie, he puts a kiss on Stephanie, and that whole thing and everything like that. That clip also right there, it's like, yeah, Randy Orton makes it personal with Triple H. You can search it up right now too. This was 9 years ago, and this is like practically still before where you have it today, that everybody, and your mom, your sister, your brother is trying to, even me, was on YouTube. This is before all that. This was 9 years ago, and that specifically got 313 million. That's 313 million views. That specific clip. So like I said, just imagine if the Attitude Era was on YouTube. Just, can you imagine? Imagine if the Attitude Era was streamed from YouTube and Twitch, and as such Instagram, everything like that. Just imagine. So like I said, I don't think people really take into account, because you also, it's not just, like I said, I'm understanding that as time goes on, I'm not the only person on YouTube. You're not the only if you have a YouTube channel, you're not the only person on YouTube. So you're competing with all these other channels, just like how it was with cable TV. You're competing, and so I said, just taking all that into account. And I just wanted to, because this is a very important video too, and I just like understood all that today, and yeah. So, like I said, you can't really take. Like I said, that's why I like to take. I'm starting to now. I'm starting to really use. I like that I'm using my brain a lot more and going forward, and as such. And you should too. Take your own information. Take your own research. Don't take others and believe others. And like I said, of course you can, but do your own research. Do, like, make your own brain work. as such and find out your own information, because a lot of times, of course, as many times we have heard, people, of course, people like to lie. That's one of the main things that's a problem today. Lies, and as such, misinformation and as such going forward. But yeah, that's enough talking though. I'll see y'all later.